You know, I look back and I'm like, yeah, we won state championship 2011. Yeah, that was our goal at the beginning of the year, but did we worry about the state championship on the first game of the year? No, you worry about the next pitch. I think it all comes back down to just the one simple word, just service. Christian Brothers, obviously with the LaSallian tradition, is about service to others. My life and my career has taken me into a path of service to others through military service, but I think the core principle is pretty simple. It's just about thinking about others more than you think about yourself. Doing service hours every summer, and as a young high school kid, you're like, I gotta get my hours in so that I can get through the next year. But in reflecting on my time at Christian Brothers, I think just focusing your life on service to others, and you can take that in a broad sense, you know, like years, or you can take it in simple little tasks during the day. But if you center yourself on that principle, I think that's what led me to have been successful at West Point and successful so far in the Army.
He's always had a heart for serving others and helping others, and he does that even as an Army officer. You know, a lot of his job is taking care of his soldiers and showing them the right way to live. And you know, sacrifice and service is huge in the military.
It's like the field house, for example. We'd clean our locker room, we'd vacuum, like little small things that you're like, does make a difference, but it's a little thing, like keeping your locker neat and orderly, keeping your locker room clean and organized. It's taking pride in where you are. That would translate to success on the baseball field and success in life.
When a student comes to Christian Brothers, it is built upon. And so when we hammer into the boys, you know, pay attention to the little things. When we talk about keep your collar buttoned, keep your shirt tail tucked in, that personal discipline that they learn when they're here, it extends those lessons that they've gotten at home growing up, and it enables them to say, you know what, I'm going to be successful later in life. The things that we talked about in the academic side of things, the things that we've talked about, extracurriculars with baseball and Ben, you know, we're hitting them on all levels as far as pay attention to the little things, and the big things become easier. Ben set out to become an Army Ranger. He set out to serve our country, and that doesn't just happen in a day.
It's like take that one step further. When I was playing baseball at West Point, we were on the extreme end of organized and pride. So the locker room, every single locker was organized the exact same way. Like glove went here, bat went here, your clothes were hung, and every single day, at the end of the day, we'd clean up after ourselves to that level of detail. You know, at the time, you're like, man, this is a little crazy, isn't it? We're going extreme end of of OCD almost. But what it translated to was attention to detail. And then really just having pride in your organization and pride in where you worked, and things that like people don't understand. You're like, well, if we take the time to be extremely organized, we take the time to do the little tiny things right, it leads to doing the big things right. That was true on the baseball field, and it's been true in my career so far.
I first noticed, I would say, I mean, yes, attention to detail for sure, but Ben is a very, I guess the best word is determined. Once he makes his mind up, he's going to do everything he can to accomplish that goal. And I first noticed it when he was in the 8th grade. We had gone to a baseball tournament for his little competitive team in Omaha, Nebraska. We went to a College World Series baseball game, and TCU, I believe, was the school. They had this thing that they did. They called it super hustle or something like that. They would, in other words, they would sprint from the dugout, sprint back to the dugout. Any kind of time there was a play, they'd sprint to where they were supposed to be, they'd sprint back. And Ben saw that, and he said, Dad, I'm gonna start doing that. That's cool, I like that. And I was like, yeah, well, when it's 95 degrees and you're catching and you're running back and forth to the dugout, I don't see you continuing. And I promise you, from that day forward, he did it every single game, to the point where people were like, what is up with this catcher? And but he made his mind up, and he was determined to do it, and he did it. And I was, you know, that's the quality, I guess, that I see in Ben, is Once he decides this is what I want to do, he's going to do everything he can to accomplish it.
So we were in the weight room, and he was, it was a bench max day, and so he was really stoked. He was going for 2 plates on each side. It was 225, and I had him in class, and we had been talking about, in trigonometry, 225 degrees is a special angle. And so anyway, he challenged me in class that day. He's like, "Coach, I'm going for 225 today. I bet you can't get it." And so, of course, I was young and fit, and I was like, "Oh, I got that." And that afternoon, we had the showdown, and he got it, I did not. And so for the rest of the year, he would drop in the answer, 225, even if it didn't have anything to do with the problem. And so I always kind of laugh about that, because his ability to sort of lock in for just something simple like a bench max demonstrates how he was able to find success, not just in baseball, but in the classroom, and obviously later on in his career in the military, because he would focus on the little step, getting to 225, and then what's next, and then what's next. And I think that's been able to help him succeed where he's at in his career.
Let's say you're a sophomore trying to make varsity, right? If you're physically present, you work your tail off every day, I guarantee you Coach Mott and my dad will notice that. If you're thinking of others and you're cleaning up after yourself, you're taking care of the locker room, you're taking care of the field house, you're taking care of the field, you're picking up extra, you're staying extra and doing some more hitting practice, it's going to be noticed. That's called being a good leader. If you're thinking of others before yourself, that's called putting the team first. I guarantee you Coach Mott and my dad notice and want a team that puts the team before themselves. That's called, hey, if you got to knock a runner in, you're not trying to hit a home run. You just got to get the guy in from third base. That's easy. You can hit a bloop single. You can hit a fly, depending on the scenario. Like, you're putting the team first. You're not trying to go up there and highlight an individual's qualities. You're doing whatever it takes to put the team first and have the team win. Sacrifice bunt. Whatever the scenario calls for, you doing that and not doing it for attention, doing it because you truly care about the team, that's how you do it. You don't have to be in a leadership position for that. You don't have to be the star pitcher. You don't have to be the star catcher. You don't have to be the captain of the team. You can be a sophomore or freshman trying to play, trying to get on the field, trying to make varsity. That you can show those qualities, physically present, cleaning up, taking care of the little things, and then putting the team first, the servant leadership mindset, and you make your decisions through that lens. It's easy.